his heart, mind, and soul and strength. This is the commandment. This is the commandment given in the Old Testament. What we have to do? We have to love the Lord with all our heart, with all our might, and with all our strength and soul. So disciples, when Christ really wants, when a man came to him and asked, what I have to follow you, what I have to inherit, what I have to do to inherit the kingdom of God. He said, you have to love God with all your strength and all your soul. Then next he said, you have to love your neighbor. What happened to that man? He went. Because he has lot of, what gospel says, he has lot of wealth. He doesn't want to lose that wealth. See, when I say that I want to be a disciple, particularly when I want to be a disciple of Jesus, my prayer should be, Lord, I am available to you. Anywhere, anytime, for anything. Sorry, anytime, twice it came. Anywhere, anything, anytime. So when I say that, I'm ready to follow you. I'm ready to want to become a disciple of you with all of my heart, all of my soul, all of my strength. I make a prayer that I'm ready to, available to you anywhere, anytime, anything, what matter. So, how Jesus trained the disciples? We know that in the history, before Christ, who were the masters? Who were the master in the history before Christ? No, I'm asking in the history, in the world history. Anyone. Kings. Then you might have heard about the names. I'm asking about in the secular world, who were the masters? Okay. Those who are having masters, they want to train their disciples. Really? There were Plato, Aristotle, and many philosophers there were, even Buddha. How do they train means? How did they train their disciple? They always want to have the group with them, right? And they have a particular method to train their disciples. Jesus too had a particular statement or a particular method to form his disciples. What did he do first? Selection. People were his method. What did he do? When he wants to have some disciples, some men to follow him, what was his first action? He selected. He selected. How he did the selection? No. Who was the first disciple of Christ? Oh my goodness. James and Jonah. Andrew. Yeah. They were the first disciples. Right? See, Christ really wants with the people. So when he wants to start a group, he really wants to have people from the group. So he selected. He selected many from the group. He could have used an exclusive mix of miracles. But how did he select it? Sorry? He called out to them. See, very ordinary people like Peter, James, Andrew, Matthew, John. Then who else? Bartholomew. Bartholomew was the last one. Judas Iscariot. Then again Judas. So these people were ordinary people. So he did a selection. He did a selection of the people. Today we are selected. Can you believe that? You are selected for the discipleship of Christ. You are selected from the different part of the country or different corners of life. Different sides of walks of life you are selected. Because you are among the people. So Christ really wants with them. So he took the people from the group of that day. So association. How he associated with them? How he associated with them? How did he associate? He was with them. He ate with them. He slept with them. He was moving around with them. He was preaching. He was going with them for the dinner. So a strong association was there with Jesus and Christ when disciples. Then consecration. He required Obedience. Anyone wants to follow him, we have to be obedient to the master. Right? Right? If you want to follow someone, he has to be obedient to you. Your boss likes you to be obedient to him. Right? Every boss is like Christ too, like that. He wants his disciples to be obedient to him. That means to be consecrated to him. Then impartation. Jesus gave himself. He gave his life even. He gave his full life to the disciples. That's why he said, I came on this earth to give life, life in its fullness. In its fullness. That's why he gave himself away. Demonstration. Jesus showed them how to live. How did he show them? How did he teach them? See, every time before he takes a decision, he goes for prayer. Every time when he performs a miracle, how we have to heal the people, how we have to behave with the people. So, how a disciple should live is demonstrated by Jesus himself. He has to be lovable, has to be merciful. So many things he had shown us how we have to. Then delegation. Jesus assigned them to work. What all the works Jesus' disciples can do? To spread the good news. Then go and make disciples. Heal the sick, cleanse the leper, preach, baptize, go and make disciples, teach. These are the delegation given by Jesus to the disciples. Then supervision. Jesus continued to check on them. How did he check their work? Is it the way to check? That's one of the way to check whether they are praying or not. So it was one of the way to check whether they are praying or not. But normally, after taking 78 and sending them for the mission, when they came back, he wants to hear the report of their work. Right? In the gospel we read, he wants to hear the report of the work. We used to report to your boss, right? When you go for a project, when you come back to the office, we used to report to the boss. Boss likes to hear what all things we have done. That's why supervision has done by Christ every time. Jesus continued to check on them. Then reproduction. Jesus expected them to reproduce. See, when we become disciples, the only one thing he wants us to have, we have to be reproduced. What we experience from Jesus, what we learn from him, we have to reproduce. Thus, we make another one to the discipleship of Christ. So, this is the 8th stage of Jesus' discipleship. How did he make his discipleship? Okay? Next one. It's a very simple thing. Making of a disciple. In a disciple, there must be a decision to follow. Do you have any decision to follow him? What is your decision? We have to be very thorough with our decisions. Why I want to follow Christ. That's why in a disciple there must be a decision to follow. Do you have any decision? Why? What made you to follow Christ? What is your decision? Is it to go to Rio? Is it to be a part of Kamalai? Being a young adults, we have to think like this. We have to reason it. God has given us power to reason. We don't say that it's all are going, so I'm also going. It's not swim according to the current. We have to make some difference, right? See, today the world is looking on you, so to have some difference. Yep. Why you become different? Why do you want to follow Christ? See, world around you is more more glittering. Right? You know the people who are living with you, who are working with you, how they manage their time, how they value the morals of life. See, how do they use their money and how do think about religion? How do they think about the other? How do they think about women? How do they think about sex? So that makes a difference. When you are really following Christ, when you think in a different way, that makes a difference. When you are ready to help the other, even forgoing your time, when you are ready to sacrifice something, that makes it different. So, what is your decision to follow Christ? What is your decision to follow? What will be your decision? What should be your decision? To be more like Christ. Okay, then. Some concrete answers.
Jesus saved me,
Okay.
so I should pass on that same message to someone who needs.
Some so you have experienced the salvation. You have received the salvation from Christ. So you have to welcome the other to partake in that salvation. Okay, good. So, what is your decision? You are a right person to speak something.
My decision is based on that I've experienced Christ in a very real way.
Really? Yep.
So I cannot keep it to myself. So that
Really, really. I can't but go out. Really.